Hey everyone, and welcome to Toucan Trail's Journey into the Jungle. Let's dive straight into the rainforest canopy and explore the incredible life of the iconic toucan. We're going to unpack the fascinating facts behind one of the most recognizable, brightly colored birds on the entire planet. I am so excited to guide you through this explainer today because I promise you, these birds are way more than just a pretty face on a cereal box. So we're starting our journey high above the ground, right in the neotropical rainforests of Central and South America. This is exactly where these magnificent birds make their home, mostly staying tucked away in the upper canopy. Stretching from southern Mexico all the way down to northern Argentina, these lush, mature tropical and cloud forests provide absolutely everything they need to thrive.
All right, Section 1. Welcome to the canopy, life in the treetops.
Now, you might assume a bird this famous would be a fantastic flyer, right? Actually, not so much. Toucans, which belong to the family Ramphastidae, by the way, are surprisingly clumsy in the air. Despite having a pretty wide wingspan, they really prefer short-distance flights. So instead of soaring, they use their compact bodies to expertly hop and climb from branch to branch through the dense canopy.
And the secret to all that treetop acrobatics? Well, it's all in the feet. They have what's called zygodactyl feet. That basically means 2 toes point forward and 2 point backward. It gives them this absolute perfect vice-like grip that is practically a requirement for a life spent entirely up in the trees. Moving right along to Section 2, Secrets of the Beak, more than just color. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather, the beak. It can reach up to a third of the length of their entire body. You'd think something that massive would be incredibly heavy, right? Like it should just drag the bird forward. But no, it's actually incredibly lightweight. It's made of keratin, which is the exact same protein in your hair and fingernails. Inside, it's structured like a honeycomb, filled with these tiny bony struts and mostly empty air pockets. Truly a marvel of natural engineering. But that beak isn't just a giant fashion statement. It's got some serious superpowers. First off, it acts as a thermal radiator to beat the sweltering jungle heat. Blood vessels inside the beak can actually dilate to release heat or constrict to keep it in. It's also a brilliantly long reach tool. A heavy bird can sit safely on a thick, sturdy branch and just reach way out to pluck fruit from flimsy twigs. Add in defense against predators and some really loud bill clacking for courtship, and you have the ultimate multi-tool. All right, Section 3. Jungle life and behavior, diet, play, and rest. Now, even though we lovingly associate them with that famous cereal box mascot, toucans do not eat cereal. They're primarily frugivores, meaning roughly 80 to 90% of their diet is straight-up fruit from over 100 different species of trees. But, plot twist, they are technically omnivores. That remaining 15% of their diet, it's supplemented by essential proteins like insects, small reptiles, and occasionally, even the eggs of other birds. What's truly mind-blowing, though, is their intelligence. Toucans are incredibly social, usually traveling around in these noisy little flocks of 6 to 20 birds. They possess remarkable problem-solving skills, often compared to crows and ravens, actually. They even play together. They literally toss fruit to each other and engage in this playful bill fencing to establish social bonds. And behind all those majestic, vibrant adult antics is a pretty sweet family dynamic. Toucans are completely monogamous. They form long-term pair bonds. Now, because their beaks are mostly hollow, they can't exactly excavate their own nests, so they just find abandoned woodpecker cavities and move right in. Both parents share the duties of incubating the eggs and raising the chicks, which, believe it or not, are born completely blind and entirely featherless.
Let's zoom out a bit for Section 4, Guardians of the Forest, Ecological Engineers.
You see, toucans aren't just consumers, they're absolutely vital ecological engineers. Because they tend to swallow their fruit whole, they act as massive seed dispersers. They fly across the canopy, digest the fruit, and then either pass or regurgitate the large seeds miles away from the parent tree. So they are literally tiny flying fruit dispensers, constantly planting new trees and making sure the rainforest remains diverse and healthy. So how are they doing in the wild? Well, right now, most of the 40 or so toucan species are listed as least concern, which means their wild populations are relatively stable. But we have to look at the reality here. They are facing some significant looming threats. The aggressive deforestation happening in the Amazon and Central America is causing severe habitat loss. Plus, there's the incredibly sad reality of the illegal pet trade capturing them just for their beauty and intelligence.
All right, wrapping things up with Section 5, Toucan Trails, Top FAQs. I absolutely love this first question because the math just doesn't seem to add up. Their beaks are huge, sometimes over half the length of their body, and tree cavities are tiny. So how do they even fit in there?
Well, the answer is pure acrobatics. They actually tuck those massive bills completely under their wings and then fold their tails all the way up and over their backs. They basically turn themselves into a super compact little ball of feathers just to save space. Even wilder, to conserve energy while they sleep, they can actually lower their body temperature in a state called torpor.
Moving on to FAQ number 2. This addresses a super common misconception. Because they're brightly colored, they live in the tropics, and they're highly intelligent, people naturally just assume they're in the parrot family.
But the answer is a resounding no. They are completely unrelated to parrots. They actually belong to the order Piciformis, which means their closest living relatives are, surprisingly, woodpeckers and barbets.
Okay, FAQ number 3. Let's look inside that massive, colorful beak. Is it just empty space in there?
Oh, they definitely have a tongue. And it is fascinating. It's incredibly long, stretching almost the entire length of the beak. What's really unique about it is that it has a specialized serrated edge. It almost looks like a frayed feather. That helps them catch, manipulate, and toss all that slippery fruit right down their throats.
And for our final FAQ, number 4, exactly how long do these colorful canopy dwellers stick around in the rainforest?
They boast a really impressive lifespan for a wild bird. They can live up to 20 years out there navigating the wild jungles, dodging predators like eagles and jaguars, and they can live even longer than that when kept in captivity.
You know, there's a quote that perfectly sums up the toucan's whole design. Evolution occasionally behaves like a child with permanent markers. Honestly, they hit the nail on the head. They're loud, neon-colored, highly intelligent fruit tossers that somehow became the vital ecological engineers of the entire jungle. So as we close out this explainer, I'll leave you with one provocative thought to ponder. Knowing how absolutely crucial these brilliantly colored birds are to planting the forest of tomorrow, will we do enough to protect the delicate, shrinking rainforest they call home?